Love, love of that land that was our common source moved me to tears. I gathered up the leaves and gave them back. He was already hoarse. We came to the edge of the forest where one goes from the second round to the third, and there we saw what fearful arts the hand of justice knows. To make these things wholly clear, I say we came to a plain whose soil repels all roots. The wood of misery rings it the same way. The wood itself is ringed by the red fosse. We paused at its edge. The ground was burning sand, just such a waste as Cato marched across. O endless wrath of God! How utterly thou shouldst become a terror to all men who read the frightful truths revealed to me. Enormous herds of naked souls I saw, lamenting till their eyes were burned of tears. They seemed condemned by an unequal law, for some were stretched supine upon the ground, some squatted with their arms about themselves, and others without pause roamed round and round. Most numerous were those that roamed the plain. Far fewer were the souls stretched on the sand, but moved to louder cries by greater pain. And over all that sand on which they lay or crouched or roamed, great flakes of flame fell slowly as snow falls in the Alps on a windless day. Like those Alexander met in the hot regions of India, flames raining from the sky to fall still unextinguished on his legions, whereat he formed his ranks, and at their head set the example, trampling the hot ground for fear the tongues of fire might join and spread. Just so in hell descended the long rain upon the damned, kindling the sand like tinder under a flint and steel, doubling the pain. In a never-ending fit upon those sands, the arms of the damned twitched all about their bodies, now here, now there, brushing away the brands. Poet, I said, master of every dread we have encountered, other than those fiends who sallied from the last gate of the dead. Who is that wraith who lies along the rim, and sets his face against the fire in scorn, so that the rain seems not to mellow him? And he said to himself, hearing what I had said, to my guide and lord concerning him, replied, What I was living, the same am I now, dead. Though Jupiter wear out his sooty Though Jupiter wear out his sooty smith, from whom on my last day he snatched in anger the jagged thunderbolt he pierced me with, though he wear out the others one by one, who labour at the forge at Mongibello, crying again, Help, help, help me, good Vulcan, as he did at Phlegra, and hurl down endlessly with all the powers of heaven in his arm, small satisfaction would he win from me. At this my guide spoke with such vehemence as I had not heard by him in all of hell. O Capaneus, by your insolence you are made to suffer as much fire inside as falls upon you. Only your own rage could be fit torment for your sullen pride. Then he turned to me more gently. That, he said, was one of the 7 who laid siege to Thebes. Living, he scorned God, and among the dead he scorns him yet. He thinks he may detest God's power too easily, but as I told him, his slobber is a fit badge for his breast. Now follow me, and mind for your own good you do not step upon the burning sand, but keep well back along the edge of the wood. We walked in silence then, till we reached a rill that gushes from the wood. It ran so red the memory sends a shudder through me still. As from the Bulikame springs the stream the sinful women keep to their own use, so down the sand the rill flowed out in steam. The bed and both its banks were petrified, as were its margins. Thus I knew at once our passage through the sand lay by its side. Among all other wonders I have shown you, since we came through the gate denied to none, nothing your eyes have seen is equal to the marvel of the rill by which we stand, for it stifles all the flames above its course as it flows out across the burning sand. So spoke my guide across the flickering light, and I begged him to bestow on me the food for which he had given me the appetite. In the middle of the sea, and gone to waste, there lies a country known as Crete, he said, under whose king the ancient world was chaste. Once Rhea chose it as the secret crypt and cradle of her son, and better to hide him, her Corybantes raised a din when he wept. An ancient giant stands in the mountain's core. He keeps his shoulder turned to Damietta and looks toward Rome as if it were his mirror. His head is made of gold, of silverwork his breast and both his arms, of polished brass the rest of his great torso to the fork. He is of chosen iron from there down, except that his right foot is terracotta. It is this foot he rests more weight upon. Every part except the gold is split by a great fissure from which endless tears drip down and hollow out the mountain's pit. Their course sinks to this pit from stone to stone, becoming Acheron, Phlegethon, and Styx. Then by this narrow sluice they hurtle down to the end of all descent, and disappear into Cocytus. You shall see what sink that is with your own eyes. I pass it in silence here. And I said to him, But if these waters flow from the world above, why is this rill met only along this shelf? And he said to me, You know this place is round, and though you have come deep into the valley through the many circles, always bearing left along the steep, you have not travelled any circle through its total round. Hence, when new things appear from time to time, that should hardly surprise you. And I said, Where shall we find Phlegethon's course? And Lethe's? One you omit, and of the other you only say the tear flood is its source. In all you ask of me, you please me truly, he answered. But the red and boiling water should answer the first question you put to me. And you shall stand by Lethe, but far hence, there where the spirits go to wash themselves when their guilt has been removed by penitence. And then he said, Now it is time to quit this edge of shade. Follow close after me along the rill, and do not stray from it, for the unburning margins form a lane, and by them we may cross the burning plain.